All right, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you the best rod progression guide inside of Fisch. Now, this is, as a bit of a note, probably going to take you over a long period of time. I'm going to say in-game rods, you'll probably get around level 1,000 to 1,500, depending on how long you grind for this. And I would recommend just knowing you'll be on each rod for a bit. And it is my overall recommendation to macro as much as you can. And if you do want to, obviously, continuously macro, but you want to, farm money at the same time or do anything else, I would recommend checking out the remote desktop video that I'll have at the end of this video. It is really, really convenient. I use it all the time for, running multiple instances or Roblox in the background. That way I can do, schoolwork, other stuff. Definitely recommend checking that out.
And today might just be your lucky day, but if you're watching this video within 1 week of it coming out, then you will actually be able to enter into my Oni Ralphix set giveaway. I'm going to be giving away every single fish for this. And to enter, all you need to do is go down and click that hype button and then hype this video and then go and comment your Roblox username down below. But once again, hype this video, comment your Roblox username, and that will enter you into the Oni Ralphix giveaway. And I'm going to be giving this away to multiple people. All right, so first things first is going to be the first rod we're going to get. So firstly, you're going to load into Fisch. You're going to be using this beautiful flimsy rod, right? Where would we all be without this? As you can see, I totally used it because I only have 2. Fisch caught with it. Now, after you have gotten the flimsy rod, your next rod you're going to get up to is going to be the carbon rod. Now, after you get the carbon rod, you're going to use this for quite some time. I'd really just recommend fishing in here, fishing off the docks. Specifically, if you pop the fish radar, you can fish kind of at an angle into this section right here to get the, just about here to get the flounder, or you can come up into the pond and fish inside of it. I would recommend fishing in the pike section if you do, just around here. That way you can get the pike. Once you've done that, what we're going to work on next is getting to around a decent amount. So the next one is going to be getting what's called the fungal rod. So this is the second rod in my recommendation. So I'm going to go ahead on over to Mushgrove Swamp, but obviously you're going to want to save up around a few thousand in general credits. That way you can get like a boat, GPS, fish radar, and some basic equipment. And then the next thing we're going to work towards is getting the fungal rod. So we're going to head on over to Mushgrove Swamp for this. This is where we're going to, get it, but we're going to head on over there. It's right here. So this, you're going to have to do a mini quest, which is going to require you getting an alligator. The main reason why I do recommend getting this rod specifically is it does have decent stats and abilities. So what you'll do is you'll fish into this section, which is just right here. So it's just on this thing. The reason why you want to fish into this is because, obviously, you do get the alligator. And then once you get the alligator, you'll have to bring it to the quest NPC. I believe it's this guy right here. Him, yeah. My fungal family was eaten by a rotten alligator. Is there anything I can do? So boom, you'll talk to him. The reason why I do recommend doing this quest is I don't actually think you have to pay for the rod. I think you just have to get it. Kind of at a disadvantage here because I think I have too much luck. Hold on. So we have a rainbow going. But once you have gone ahead and gotten that, then you can return it to him and he will give you the fungal rod. Now, the benefits to the fungal rod, are pretty simple, mainly being this. So 70% chance to give you this luck boost right here. Then the fungal mutation. So you can already go ahead and start getting mutations. And you could probably use this rod for quite some time. I would say up until you can save up roughly 200,000. And the reason for this, you want to save up to roughly 200,000. That way we can start working towards getting the trident rod. Now, this is more of a personal preference rod. Obviously, the trident rod is pretty decent. You can either do the trident rod or the rod of the dreamer, whatever it's called, the great dreamer rod, I think. You can go ahead and get that. Or if there's 2 scenarios. So firstly, if you're trying to grind XP, I would recommend getting the great rod of Oscar. And if you can't get that, I would recommend going ahead and getting the trident rod. Now, the reason for the great rod of Oscar is this is more of an XP grindy rod. So if you're trying to prioritize grinding XP over, money, I'd recommend the great rod of Oscar. Now, if you're trying to grind money itself, I would definitely recommend getting either the trident rod or the rod of the dreamer or whatever the crap it's called. Now, once you've done this, obviously the trident rod is pretty simple. You go down to Desolate Deep, the whole shebang, right? And then after that, what you can work towards is getting into the luminescent cave. Now, realistically, this is probably the most simple thing. You're gonna have to save up roughly 1 million credits to buy the luminescent oath, and you're gonna be using this rod for a while. This is a very, very good rod. Reason for this rod is pretty decent overall, but one of the main things is going to be once you do have this rod, this is going to be one of the most important rods just for progression in general because of the amount of money it's going to give you. The reason for this is it has a chance to give it the mastered mutation, and it also is going to be one of the first rods you get that has a hunt focus and disturbance passive. The reason that this is important is, in general, if you're farming with other people in zones with the disturbance ability, you're going to use this to force
spawn in events. Very overpowered. But after you have gone ahead and gotten this, I would obviously about now getting the Great Rod of, or the Great Dreamer Rod, because now you're going to need to, or the Great Rod of Oscar, because now you're going to need to focus on leveling up. So what we're going to do, head on over to Forsaken Shores. If you already know how to get this, you can click the arrow key, skip a bit, but you're going to want to get to Forsaken Shores. We're going to start the quest line. You're going to come on in here. And then in here, you're just going to climb this ladder. We're just inside of the main skull section of Forsaken Shores. You're going to come up here and talk to this NPC, Dead Man Joe. And then Dead Man Joe is going to want you to get him an amulet. And this amulet is simply going to be just a bit off to the back side of Forsaken Shores. So you can just come on over here to Grand Reef. And then it's going to be sitting just under this cupboard broken section of this boat right here. And then once you go ahead and get that, we can go on back to Dead Man Joe and return the amulet, and then you'll unlock the Oscar's Locker, which I'll show you where that is. So Oscar's Locker is pretty straightforward to get to. It is a bit confusing, I'm not gonna lie. You're gonna come on over to Terrapin Island, and it's just gonna be around this section, but we're gonna come on over to Terrapin Island, and then there's a rock formation behind it. You're going to need to use diving gear to be able to see it, but it is a bit hidden. I'm not going to lie. I feel like every time I try to look for it, I end up not finding it. Yeah, right here. So this is like directly behind it. But so the rock formation you want to go to is right here. Then you're going to go this way, just away from it. They moved it. There used to be a rock on it, but they removed that. And then you'll just swim into this. It pretty much just goes down, but you'll swim down there. And then the Great Oscar's Locker is just going to be sitting in there, or you can go ahead and buy it. Now, after you've gotten the Great Rod of Oscar, I think this will allow you to grind money and XP. Not money as primarily as XP, but you'll be able to grind to around a level 750 or so. And then once you get in your level 750, I think the reason why you want to target level 750 is they, I think, changed the level requirement to get the Ruinous Oath. As in prior, it used to be level 1000, and I think it's level 750 now. Yeah, you only have to be level 750, and it's going to cost 5 million. And obviously, to get the Ruinous Oath, this is a bit of a harder task, meaning you have to get a lot of different things. You have to fully complete the Crimson Cavern Bestiary. You have to get it sparkling and shiny fully complete, which is, I mean, it's pretty simple, sparkling and shiny, because you can use, simple macros and you can AFK grind that. I would recommend fishing in the new event zones and all that. But once you have farmed that for a bit, you're going to unlock that. But one of the main things is the Ruinous Oath is really best if you pair it with like Mystical and Sea Prince to get the best value out of it. But if you are pretty good with the rod in general, I would recommend going with Sea Overlord and Sea Prince, as you're going to get the enchant or mutation mastered, which is going to be a 9x, which is going to be one of the best ones up next to other event ones, but those ones aren't as guaranteed as the mastered one is. Obviously, the only caveat is you have to perfect catch, which, I mean, that's why I'm saying you have to be pretty decent with it. But after you have gotten this is going to be one of the final rods you're really going to need. And then after that, it's realistically, you're just going to get random rods you like the Maelstrom, the Polaris Serenade. Obviously, you can't really get either one of these. Other rods you really just want to mess around with, like Oni Ralphix is a pretty decent one. The Fabulous Rod, if you ever want to work towards getting that. The Tryhard rods like those are going to be pretty good to get, but for the most part, that's pretty much going to be it for this video. If you have any other questions, make sure to leave them down in the description or in the comment section, not the description. But if you do check out the description, you'll see my Discord server link, which you should totally join. But for the most